Hello, my name is Alan Provo with Galvanic Applied Sciences. Today I'm going to show you how to resolve a U-Pot error when you are adjusting the automatic hardware settings on your Galvanic Sentinel Titronics colorimeter analyzer. So when you receive an E-Pot error, you'll have a message here, E-Pot error-U36. This is the inability of the software to adjust the hardware gain settings in order to get the detector to its 3500 millivolts. Most likely it's detector 1 that's unable to reach this. Okay, take a picture of the cell here. During any hardware adjustment, you'll want this cell to be not completely full, but filled with enough DI water so that you're covering the optical path length here. Okay. Make sure that you have cleaned this probe off with deionized water. Make sure any residue from reagents are washed off. Clean out this cell with DI water and place in fresh, clean DI water into the cell. For some applications that require dilution, you'll notice that the siphon tube is very low. It's even lower than the optical path length on the probe. This can be problematic, and I'm going to show you how to avoid this liquid from siphoning out of the drain tube here. And then if it is to siphon, you'll only capture a certain amount and you'll be below that optical path length. If that's to happen and you adjust the hardware settings, that could also cause it to fail. So, in the software here, we're going to hit stop to get to the main menu. Diagnostics, yes. Arrow down to hardware test, yes. Arrow down to fluidics control, yes. And arrow until you see the air vent, and we're going to turn that on. This is activating the air vent, which is located here. Now, this creates an open system for this sample cell and this whole manifold assembly here, so that when you're putting the cell on, it won't accidentally cause the deionized water to drain through this back drain here. We're going to close this up, make sure this is on all the way up. Another thing I should point out is that, excuse me, is that this O-ring is in place. If it's not in place, it could be stuck up underneath the manifold here. Make sure you remove it, place it securely inside of the top of this reaction cell here. Okay, so let's screw this back on. I'm going to reinstall the stirrer here, and I'm going to reinsert the light shield. Okay, now the air vent is on, but once I hit stop, it should close. Now, to perform the hardware adjustment, you would go to diagnostics, yes, and keep arrowing down to adjust hardware settings. However, the automatic hardware adjustment and even the manual hardware adjustment is still an automated process, and it will also fail. So what we have to do is we have to adjust each component individually, and we do this through the view hardware set. View hardware set, show detector out. And now next we're going to turn the lamp on. And it's also a good idea at this point to make sure that your lamp indeed is on. I'm going to open the door here. I'm going to show you where the lamps are. Lamps are located here. And in fact the lamp is on. So we know the lamp is functioning. Okay, let's come back out here. Okay, so you can see we're not at the 3500 millivolts that we require. So I'm going to select gain and amp. And this can be set to anywhere from 96 to 99. At the moment, I'm going to leave it at 96%. Yes. Exit here. And next parameter we're going to change is the gain. And I'm going to bump this up to about 340 milliseconds. Exit again. And you can see that that value in millivolts is coming up. So I'm still not at my 3500 millivolts. I'm going to bring this up again. And we're almost there. Let's go back. And we're not quite there yet, so let's adjust this preamp setting here. Adjust it up to 99%. Still not quite there. It takes a little bit of adjusting here back and forth to get up to the 3500 millivolts. Looks like we're almost there. Oh, gone past it. And this is pretty acceptable. Another thing I might add here, excuse me, if you can get a close-up of the cell here, you can see that this deionized water is clear. There's no air bubbles, and also there's no air bubbles inside of the optical path. If there is, you'll need to take this cell down, reinstall it, and make sure that any air bubbles are knocked out of there. So let me reinstall the light shield. And also another good thing to point out is that these millivolt values will not be accurate unless this light shield is indeed installed. Here we are. Okay, so we're back at about 35, 36, okay. I'm just going to bring that down a little bit more. Excuse me. Oh, too far. Jeez. And that looks pretty good. Now, detector 2. And detector 2, for the most part, is fairly easy to adjust. And we're already at an acceptable level here. I'm just checking these parameters. That's good. Also, once these are adjusted, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to exit that menu, go to the Show Absorbance menu here, and you'll notice that the absorbance is actually 0.005. Normalization will bring us down to 0. Might have to hit it a couple times to be stable at 0, and basically that's it. Exit. And these parameters are saved automatically. There's no save feature here, and that's it. We have adjusted the hardware settings manually, and after this you'll want to calibrate and validate the analyzer. Thanks for your time.